Wheel of Fortune and they allow you to substitute it.
Zach, I'm screaming. It's take 10. Oh my god. Oh, oh my god. I'm hyperventilating. This is the funniest evening I've ever had in my entire life. And we can't use any of it.
I think we can use like a third of those takes.
And if you
I
want
think
to
some of
see
them
some of
like
those takes, no,
I think I
I'm
think
taking the
I
reins.
think the last I think not the last one, but the one before that we cut out right before it's past Patreon.
No, no,
Well,
Zach, that one's dead. But there are a couple that are Patreon
I think
possible.
I I think we can cut it right where we cut it, and it's fine. And I think as long as I don't use the words, God
Stop
damn
it.
it, it's
Stop
really
it.
funny to say them.
Stop
It's
it.
really funny.
Stop it, please.
It's really funny to immediately go back to the topics we don't want to start a video with.
Stop it. I can't breathe. Zach, if you happen to want to hear some of these bits, you can go to patreon.com/theinterestingnerdclub. Link in the description. And
We're gonna be on edge for words we say a lot because like the beginning of one of the things is fuck,
and and
and beginning of the
and
other thing is problem, and we say those words a lot.
and if you want to support us, the best way to do that is to like this video. Because please, I need to stop doing these bits, and the only way for that to happen is for you to like the videos where the bits don't happen. Please, please get me out of this. Zach, I want to do a theory, please. I just want to do a theory.
Let's do a theory.
I'm
Let's do a theory.
I'm actually weeping.
Let's roll. I'm
Oh my
ready.
god, I'm actually crying. This is the funniest day I've ever had. Oh my god. And the opening quote is like a piece of like interesting history.
I'm pumped.
Oh my
Legit. I
god.
love
And
interesting
it has
history.
to come after all those things we said running through my head,
My
running through
head
my
running
head.
through my head, running through my head.
By a zombie.
It's a
Oh,
different song.
oh, oh my
I love
god.
you're combining all the things she said by Tattoo and Zombie by the Cranberries.
Ugh, I want another tattoo. Ugh,
That's a Weird Al song.
oh my god. The end set. I have to like type out this like piece of like interesting like human history, and I need to do it while crying and not saying the words you keep making me say. The ancestors of indigenous American people. Uh, oh my god, walked across the land, walked to what is now Alaska, across the Bering Land Bridge. Oh my god, I have whiplash because this is an actual serious theory.
It's an actual serious theory, and we have done nothing but send videos to the Patreon outtakes or the Shadow Realm with nothing even close to a theory in between.
Oh my
After
god.
an hour and a half theory, it was pretty good. A little
And
rambly, pretty good.
it was a lot of fun too. Oh my god. Holy
So
shit.
I'm gonna make a
Oh my
leap right
god, I'm
immediately.
crying. Oh, Zach, I swore in the first 5 minutes.
Who
I
cares?
don't care. I don't care. I don't
We're gonna
care. I
take
don't
10.
care.
We're gonna take fucking 10.
Stop it. Zach, I like doing this with you. This is the highlight of my month. I'm gonna talk to the
Yes.
camera here
Same.
for a second. While people at home are like formulating their first couple of clues they're gonna add to this. Okay. I just I have had we missed a recent like upload because I had a funeral and that was very sad. And there's been like family arguments. It's not been great. And I want you to know that this is the best thing I do.
Tom, I gotta agree. This is I took a job and have not had a day off since. It's very usual in my field of work. This is the first activity I have done for more than an hour and change that is not working or sleeping, except for the last game of football I watched, which was, of course, the Bills losing.
Yeah,
So that was, in the end, not quite the experience I wanted it to be for the last bit of free time I had. This has
reasonable.
been the most fun I have had in, like, honestly, like almost 3 weeks.
Yeah,
And I'm laying in my bed talking about insane things with you, and then waiting for one of us to make a joke that we're like, oh, yeah, not putting that one on the main channel. I don't think that's too bad, but I'm not endorsing it either.
oh man.
I would never give somebody shit for making that joke, but man, I
Uh,
wouldn't be introducing it to all my friends.
yeah, yeah. That's the joke you
There's
don't say.
nothing there's nothing wrong with that joke, but there certainly ain't anything right with it either.
Yeah. In the comments below, tell me what joke you think that was.
It's always a lewd sex joke.
Oh
It's
man.
always a lewd sex joke, or like a joke that would have been too soon in 1880.
But but
Good old Lincoln assassination joke.
no, Zach, why?
I'm sorry to the descendants of Abraham Lincoln who are all
Zach,
dead.
no, Zach, no. You gotta stop. We gotta cut it. We
Sorry,
gotta
no, we can't
stop
cut
it
it.
right there.
We're too
No,
deep into
I
the
do it.
video.
You cut the
Fine, fine,
joke.
fine. We'll just do McKinley
No.
assassination joke.
Yeah, nobody cares about him.
Buffalo, baby.
Yeah, Buffalo,
Sorry,
baby.
sorry about that. There's only like
You're not a real Buffalonian unless you've
there's
Halo 2 teabagged on where William McKinley died.
there's only 4 places in America where a president got murked, and god damn it, one of them's in Buffalo.
And
You know how well we preserved the site where it happened? It's literally the median between a street. There's
it,
nothing there.
it sure is.
We have done jack shit to preserve your
Oh man.
memory, William McKinley. One statue where it's like, yep, sorry, sorry about that whole getting shot
Uh,
thing. We didn't even put the statue where you got shot. We put it where it was convenient.
Take that, President McKinley, you piece of shit. Oh, Zach, there's your first clue. And it is an immediate follow up to take that President McKinley, you piece of shit.
Tom, so I think about this actually quite a bit.
Uh-huh.
It's the how did the people of Westeros get there? Because we have distinct language groups. We have so I like this is something I find fascinating and watch a lot of YouTube videos about. I never took linguistics. Somebody who I thought was hot took linguistics, so I think it makes you smart if you
I
take
think
linguistics.
everyone who takes linguistics is hot, and I'm pretty confident putting that down on record.
Yeah, and like the like cultural. So like there's this I forget what the video was called, but it was about like high prestige and low prestige languages, and the belief in the Victorian times was they called themselves Anglo-Saxon in Britain, in the UK, or specifically the English did, because they would have, the Scottish, Welsh, and Irish would not have called themselves that. The English would call themselves that, under the idea that the Angles and Saxons into they downplayed the Jutes or the Utes. I'm not sure it's how it's pronounced, as a ancestor to them. The idea was they showed up and they just killed all the Brythonic people, and adopted some of their culture and language, but mostly just killed them. And then you look at modern DNA tests, and that is not the case. Uh, you have a common Brythonic ancestry in Scots, Irish, Welsh, and English, in the other parts of the island just have less of that uh, Germanic, uh, you know, influence on their DNA. But the language is far more pronounced, and like I think that's fascinating. It was because their new language was high prestige, and people, if they could only learn one, would learn the one that got them to sit with the lords and the richer folk and all that. If there's a language that puts you in a certain class, you're going to learn the language that puts you in the better class. And I wonder how much of the divisions of First Men and Andal and Roinar and all that are of like a actual division in like origin versus just like regional differences that get played up over time, and how much people who are like, we have nothing but First Men in our blood are going to take an ancestry DNA test and turns out actually you're like 28% Andal, and there's like a little bit of like Iron Islands in
Yeah,
there. And
you're like 1% Pike, and you're only like 10% First Men. The rest of you is
yeah,
Andal. Oh my God, that's just a good bit. Um, the
the
like
ancestry DNA test.
Jon Snow taking an ancestry DNA test.
Why is it 50% Valerian?
Uh, Listen, you remember when I told you we'd talk about your mother?
It's really your father that's the big shocker here.
This is a good bit.
So
I have
okay,
terrible news though. Like this is all
that's not where
very
we're
interesting.
going.
This has nothing to do with anything.
Well, I was gonna bring it back around a little
Yeah, okay,
bit.
go ahead.
I have questions. I don't think the Ironborn. Uh, I think it's disputed whether they're First Men or Andals. I don't think they're either, but that's neither here nor
Oh
there.
yeah, they're
Or
squishers.
they're squishers. Part of the like First Men origin, I have if they are distinct groups genetically. Part of my First Men origin would be they crossed over into Westeros before the shattering of the arm, before the islands were made off of Dorne. What are they called again?
Ding, double ding.
The, the Stepstones. The Stepstones. That's right.
The ancestors of the first men walked from the southwest of Essos across a land bridge called the Arm of Dorne.
And this would be if I was to make an argument that there are genetically distinct groups of people in Westeros. This is the argument that I'd be making, right? That one of them came before the shattering of the arm, and then the other groups came afterwards, and there was a period of extreme amount of time between the two, and that's why you see different things in their genetic code. You'd see like a preponderance of green eyes in First Men that are not there in Andals, although it's usually blue or something of that sort. Green or blue eyes, or some other characteristic. And this could argue, argument for why Valerians had purple eyes. It was years of staying in Valeria, breeding only with other Valerians that led to something like that becoming accentuated, and then that trait might be recessive or dominant, all that. It's hard to tell, although if you inbreed for years and years and years, then the likelihood of a recessive trait popping up again and again and again increases, not a dominant one. That all to say, this points to it looks like this theory is going for if there is a genetic component to this, uh that the first men were there before everybody else. Is that a good path to walk down?
Um, no.
Oh,
uh, I like I love letting you cook, and man, there's
yeah.
some really interesting things in there, like the language and like ethnic families of Westeros. I think is a really interesting and honestly underexplored like set of theories that I think I've only heard Preston Jacobs even start to delve into, and even he hasn't gone super deep. Um,
Yeah,
but no, that is not where I'm going. Um, would you like to tell me some things related to the Arm of Dorn?
the Arm of Dorn connected Essos to Westeros.
Mm-hmm.
It was all one continent at one point, as far as we can tell. It was destroyed and became the Stepstones.
Mm-hmm.
The Children of the Forest used the Hammer of the Waters or something of that sort.
Ding. Let me see. This one is a bit of a long one. I'm going to read the whole thing and then I'm going to give you like sections of it. Gathering. This is from the World of Ice and Fire. Gathering in their hundreds, some say on the Isle of Faces, and calling on their old gods with a song and a prayer and grisly sacrifice. Open parentheses. 1,000 captive men were fed to the weirwood, one version of the tale goes, whilst another claims the children used the blood of their own young. End parentheses. And the old gods stirred, and giants awoke in the earth. All of Westeros shook and trembled. Great cracks appeared in the earth, and hills and mountains collapsed and were swallowed up. And then the seas came rushing in. And the arm of Dorne was broken and shattered by the force of the water, until only a few bare rocky islands remained above the waves. The summer sea joined the narrow sea, and the bridge between Essos and Westeros vanished for all time. Or so the legend says. The children of the forest. Uh,
They
uh,
shattered the arm. Were responsible
destroyed
for the shattering of the arm.
the the arm of Dorn by stirring old gods and giants awoke from the. Zach, this is very much like one of our more classic theories, where every step really does lead to another step.
I like those kinds. So
I don't think there's any leaps in this one.
it's been long speculated and kind of implicitly stated that the reason they shattered the arm was there was a war of extermination with the humans, right? Humans were coming over and taking their land and killing them by their like perception. And more so in the Bad Dragon show, it's explicitly stated that was the case, and they created the others for the purpose of having a weapon to fight back against the humans.
Dang. The Maesters assert that the children of the forest destroyed the arm of Dorn as part of their war with the humans. Hmm. Interesting. Hmm. I know. Everybody at home, don't panic. All right, don't panic. Fix it in a second. We gotta. Hang on. I just need to fix this real quick. I know. Don't panic. It's okay. Shoot. I can hear you. Why don't you edit this part out, Tom? I don't know. Why don't you watch somebody else?
Because the amount of editing is not worth the quality, but add.
I'm editing it right now. There you go. Okay. So there you go, Zach. There you go. We have some pieces now. I think we can probably draw some fairly reasonable connections. Yeah. This and this are connected. Honk, honk. This is connected to this, of course. Um, this is connected all the way over here. Whoop. A little bit of whoop. You know what? We're not gonna do that. Just know that it can be connected. Oh no, I just got a comment
Look,
on the Patreon. It says, "Thank you for the financial advice."
uh,
Yeah,
is it from Cool
it
perchance?
is.
Yeah, can confirm they took it. Uh,
Yes, let's go. Uh-oh. Oh, whatever. Um, Zach, you're gonna get banned.
I don't think I violated any rules, and if I did it in the funniest way possible.
I can't dispute either of these statements directly. All right, Zach. What else you know? What else do you know that is associated with this?
Uh,
One leads to the
what,
next.
so the Bering Strait also went away and is associated with the end of the Ice Age.
The Bering Strait, lies between Alaska and Russia.
Or yeah, the Bering Land Bridge is now the Bering Strait. It is water. It sunk due to a climate changing in a way that was, the Ice Age ended and the non-Ice Age began, and we're in it now, and there is no more Bering Land Bridge. And the Ice Age and the Long Night have a lot in common.
You can't see me, but I'm like smiling and nodding. I'm like, yes, yeah,
I'm
yes.
not quite to the ding yet, am I?
You're no, no. You're. It's one of those things where like we're playing hide and seek, and you're right in front of me, but I'm behind you and like still hidden. Right? You're right there. You can grab me, but you're not looking at me. You don't see me, but you're right there. Just reach out and poke. See what you hit.
So the Long Night and the Ice Age are similar, and
Boop, 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 boop.
is the theory here that like the shattering of the arm actually is what ushered in the Long Night? It wasn't that the children of the forest created the others; it's they accidentally woke them up, Lovecraft style.
Ooh, no, but that's fun. Ooh, that's a fun one, dude. We dug too greedily and too deep.
Yeah, we went to win a war and didn't expect to start another one.
I mean, I don't hate that at all. Um, yeah, I
Or
will.
it's almost like the you haven't watched Oppenheimer yet, have you?
I haven't.
They talk about, and this is a real thing, that it gets a good mention in the film, is when they first talked about the potential of a nuclear bomb, one of the scientists talked about, well, you're causing a nuclear chain reaction, atoms hitting atoms. Isn't it possible that the chain reaction goes so long that it destroys enough atoms that you functionally turn the entire atmosphere of the planet into a single explosion? Because it just, it keeps going and going and going and never dissipates. That the shattering of the arm could have like an unintended like world shattering consequence. They use it as like a nuclear style weapon, and it is so powerful it knocks the planet into the long night. And then maybe the next long night is from a similar sort of like cataclysmic event, like the wall comes collapsing down and it shoots dust up into the air, you get a nuclear winter sort of thing.
Uh, I don't know if I buy any of this, but it's extremely cool.
Yeah,
But you did like elbow a ding, uh,
nice.
in the Bad Dragon Show. The wall falls.
which is also cataclysmic and, well, magical to some extent. It's a evil undead dragon that does it, but in the books, it's more likely that's going to be a horn that brings down the wall. It's been foreshadowed pretty
Oh,
heavily.
talk more about that.
There's the Horn of Joramun, which
Ding.
also probably already brought down a part of the wall. We talked about that. Me, Taco, and Michael talks about stuff. Uh, the Horn of Joramun has probably already been used and they know it works, and they probably brought down a segment of the wall before.
I was not a part of this live stream. Do tell.
It was a fun one. It was a fun one. We talked about there was a strong desire for a night fort only stream. I was just barely able to make it. I literally was like right out of work, collapsed on my bed and joined the live stream. And Michael Talks About Stuff was there for a face reveal. He has a beautiful mustache. A big fan of it. And uh, Taco and I and uh, Michael talked all about Night Fort stuff. And we talked about the wall falling and Jorman's horn and a bunch of other things, and uh, how death and the others and weirdly like life after death, immortality, undeath are all tied to the Night Fort and all that. It was a fun stream, and you should check it out. We had a blast.
Very cool.
We went off
Go
on
check out the VOD on
tacos.
what?
Let's talk about something to taco about. That's the channel.
Yeah, go check it out. Very cool. Nice. Uh, Zach, you did get a ding in there. And Jorman blew the horn of winter and woke giants from the earth.
Woke giants from the earth. Oh yeah, that's another interesting thing about that. Are giants literally created magically? We have reason to believe no, that's not the case. As at least one person has been implied to have sex with a giant, specifically Tormund. However, Tormund also claims to have fucked a bear. So I
We
don't
all
know
know you
how.
didn't fuck a bear. We all know you never fucked a bear. Man, you remember when that show was good?
I do. I remember very fondly, unfortunately. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. So Zach, you got a lot of the pieces of where I'm going here. There's one. Do you see the significant connection with the thing that I just wrote down?
the wall falling versus the Bering Strait in the Armadorn,
No, the one I just wrote down, the Jorman one.
Jormungand blew the horn of winter and woke giants from the earth. So the oh, giants awoke from the earth, stirring the old gods and giants. So there's a cataclysmic event, and giants woke up from the earth. Uh, in both of those instances, meaning the magic might have a similar source. And I'm starting to wonder if the giants are not giants the way we know them. Then they're very large humanoids, but they're like some sort of godly being, right? Some sort of creature not seen before by the uh, people we have met in the story.
These two. That's very cool. I apologize. I don't mean to blow that up. That's very cool. But now where I'm going. Um, this one, these two here, these two. Um, I was rereading the World of Ice and Fire relatively recently, and I came across this line. Uh, it is said that the children of the forest awoke giants from the earth to destroy the arm of Dorne. That is exactly the same language used to describe destroying the wall. These are the,
Yeah,
these are the same these are the same process.
Are you implying it may have happened at the same time? Maybe the same instrument? The
I,
hammer of the waters and the horn of Joraman are the same thing?
I I'm kind of asserting that they have to be, right? They have the same, exactly the same language used to describe them. They must. It is colossal cataclysmic events on a continent-wide scale. These must needs be the same event. Not the same event, but active, but two.
Acted upon by a similar
Yep,
force.
they have to be caused by the same thing for sure, 100%. How could they not be? In fact, I would be like a little like upon seeing this, I was like I would be a little grumpy with George if these were not connected. And have you and maybe I'm just a little late to this particular party. I don't think I've ever seen I'm sure I've seen one or two, but I haven't seen a lot of people draw direct comparisons between the children of the forest destroying the arm of Dorn and what's the other place that the children destroyed? Come on, come on.
The neck.
Yes, the children of the forest uh, flooded the neck with
They created the river.
with the hammer of the waters. And this again is exactly the same. This is the same language that is used um, to talk about them destroying the arm of Dorn. Um, and again, just calm down. Just calm down. We've done just a second. Just calm down. Just relax. Pikachu, Pikachu, Raichu. Nice. Got all three. I never get all three. Anyway. Come just this way. There we go. Like I would be a little bit mad at George Martin because and this thing, one and two, are connected um by identical language. And this
Yes. And,
and
and George R. R. Martin only does that usually very specifically.
yes. And especially with a turn of phrase like that, giants awoke from the earth. That's a very evocative turn of phrase that you would never use by accident. So that is part one of this, and I'm sure that that's not original. If it is, cool. But I'm sure that that's not original. But like, please, like, link previous assertions of that in the comments. I would love to see them. I think that that's an extremely cool connection that we don't talk about enough. That the whatever the horn of Joramun is, it is the same thing that happened to the arm of Dorn and the neck. So that is about half of the theory. What is the back half? What happened to the arm of Dorn and the neck?
The arm of Dorn in the neck? Like what
Yes.
happened to them?
Yep.
Well, the arm of Dorn is completely underwater and became the Stepstones, which are fought over by pirates to this day. And the neck became the Riverlands, which are fought over by Freys to this day.
The
There's hot spots of violence.
the arm of Dorn is completely underwater. Those are your words, not mine.
Yeah,
The neck is completely underwater.
yeah.
I adore this argumentative method, by the way, because like a lot of our theories are stretches. I don't think this one is. You got all the pieces. Where are we going?
Is it that the when the wall falls, it will fall all the way into the ocean? It will literally that's like a last ditch effort. The wall is not to being fallen is not to let the others through. it's a last ditch effort to keep them out. Maybe the others like can't. Is it the thing they can't cross water? It's a famous like mythological thing, right?
You know what? That's an
Uh,
interesting. I hadn't.
Vampires can't cross water.
Hmm, I hadn't gone exactly in that direction, but that's a very interesting take. Um, I would want to ponder that a little bit. I know we have a lot of people in this fandom who are super big on like fairy lore. I've never been
Yeah,
like super
Fae
into it.
can't cross water. The others are Fae. If Mira Reeds was here, she'd be like all over that. The Fae of Ice and Fire videos that she's doing right now that are super great.
Very good
Like
series, strongly recommended.
yeah, and Fae famously, some of them at the very least cannot cross water. Other ones, like I think Selkies, live in water, so I think that they're like accepted. But it depends on like what Fae stories and writings you're going off. But the stuff that we've seen George clearly heavily influenced by, that would be in there. Bering Strait lies between Alaska, and next completely underwater. Aerodorn is completely underwater. Is this like there's going to be like a biblical style flood
Hmm?
in the books? Is John going to have to build an ark?
Oh God. Oh my God. It's Daenerys' favorite companion, Noah Mormont. uh, Zach, we're talking around it. We're both in the same ballpark. Uh, why did the Bering Land Bridge disappear?
Cataclysmic climate change, right? It melted. It sank. Well, the ice melted and it sank. The ocean levels rise dramatically.
Ding, because huge chunks of ice melted and became water.
Oh, the wall's going to melt.
And previously,
Previously, there might have been like glacier. Is this thing blow up glaciers?
I think that's exactly what it does. I think that there was a like the what what is used to stop the others, to stop advancing forces.
The the wall.
Yeah. What if
The
there was
wall is a
another
massive.
wall across the Arm of Dorne?
Or it could have been, yeah, or just glaciers up on top of a mountain. Like
Not,
if it
no.
was only
Stay
the
with me here. Stay with me.
go,
What if
go
there
for
was
it, go
another
for it.
wall across the Arm of Dorne that fucking melted?
Yeah,
And what if there was another wall in the neck
and we're on the last one,
that fucking
the
melted?
last line of defense.
Yeah. What's gonna happen to the north when the wall melts? If the wall melts.
A lot of it's probably going to go underwater. Anything that's coastal is going to be underwater. And then
3 foot sea level rise? 1,000 new lakes in the north.
Littlefinger's going to have to change his last name to Ocean.
Ocean's 7. Yeah, there it is. There it is. That's the theory.
I like it a lot. I don't know how fully I believe that there are actual literal walls, but the idea that it was, any amount of like ice or water or there was a massive flooding tool is believable. And also, And that kind of fits thematically for the guy we know who likes blowing magical horns in the story if he ever gets his hand on it. If Euron ever gets this, him flooding the world would be like the greatest boon to his piracy that he's ever seen. He will now have sudden coastal towns that aren't prepared to be coastal towns to go attack and raid, rule. If you want to usher in Euron Greyjoy's apocalypse, a cataclysmic global flood is like exactly what a guy who's a pirate teaming up with Cthulhu would want.
Yeah, right. Like flooding a continent is exactly what Demon Pirate would like.
Yes.
And like, okay, so this thing, uh, uh, the Hammer of the Waters wakes giants from the earth, destroys things, and floods things. Right? Destroys things and floods things. The Horn of Jorman destroys things, and when that thing is destroyed, it will cause floods. I think that these are the same thing.
Yeah.
These are the same thing. I know that it sounds silly in the in the universe as it currently exists. But another couple of like huge defensive structures are like why would those not be built? Why would there be
Yeah.
only one? Right, there is one defending from the north, but there were not invasions from the north. There were invasions from the south. So ice walls from the south during periods of horrific cold, which we know have happened before. The only one that's still standing is the one in the north. So like we talk about like post-apocalyptic like scouring of the Shire, sort of like walking the nightmare imagery sometimes. Um, like the North being a temperate place that is completely flooded. Uh, uh, like in A Dream of Spring, I think would be a remarkably dramatic setting. Uh, I have a quote from Tormund here that I
Go
think you're
for
gonna
it.
like. Um, uh, uh, Tormund says, "We never found the true horn, not for all our digging. If we had, every Nearler in your seven kingdoms would have chunks of ice to cool his wine all summer. But, but they wouldn't. They would have water."
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I have a sidebar here at the bottom. That's it. We're done. By the way, like, comment, subscribe, or whatever. Uh, John sucked in a Warhorn, that great belly Warhorn. Yes, the Horn of Winter, the Jorman once blew to wake giants from the earth. God damn. Um, Sidebar: Sam has the old broken Warhorn, as we know. And
Yeah.
John has an obsidian dagger, but there's still a terrifying unanswered question about who buried them there and how ghosts happened to find them. We don't have an answer for that in the story yet, and I didn't remember that really until I was rereading some John chapters. It occurred to me like, is this a Bill and Ted thing? Is it uh 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 is it like future Bran having to remember to hide the stuff in the like in that particular spot because he
Yeah.
knows that Ghost is gonna dig in that particular spot? Like in other universes, Ghost digs in that particular spot and there's nothing there. So Bran goes back and hides things in that particular spot.
Or is there a real like by his bootstrap style like time paradox going on? Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you think of this, Zach?
I kind of like it. I don't know if I fully buy it, but like you're correct. the the hammer and the horn have to be related. There's no way they're not, and they very well could be the same thing because they have the exact same function with the exact same phrasing. And George R. R. Martin does that very infrequently, and it's always on purpose.
I'm glad that we're in the same place on that at least. Cuz like I don't know exactly what they do. Like this is it's pure speculation that there are multiple walls. Um but like whatever they do it's the same. Whatever action they take, it's the same. So that narrows down the functions that the Horn of Winter can do. Um because whatever it can do to the wall, it also has to be able to do that to the neck and to the neck and the what's it called and the arm of Dorn. That could mean melting the wall and flooding it with a whole bunch of ice. In which case, that would make it like a highly gosh like an earth saltingly scary action, right? Melting flooding the area with fresh water that mixes with seawater and making it uninhabitable, right? The neck is uninhabitable. Uh, uh, or it could like call a comet, as we know. This has been speculated elsewhere. Um, and destroy the physical arm of Dorn and the physical neck. Although I'm like Zach, how does the Hammer of the Waters destroy the neck by flooding it?
I don't know.
Walk through this with me for a second. Like if it is a physical, like we conceptualize it as a physical hammer, right? that
Yeah,
that can destroy the land bridge, assuming it's like the I don't know, like the Serpent's Pass in Avatar, right? And it comes down and it smashes the pass and it's all like scattered on the bottom of the ocean now. How does that action used on the neck cause what happened to the neck? If we conceptualize it like I don't know, like a vacuum that sucks water up and floods it, like a I don't know, like a waterbender. I don't know why I'm on a an Avatar thing right now.
yeah.
If it sucks it up like a waterbender and covers it, that could do what happened to the neck and what happened to the arm, but then it would ebb away. Whatever happened, it added more water.
Yes, because or at the very like it either added more water or fundamentally destroyed the land in a way that made it sink and crumble. And either is not like this is not like blowing up something to create a canal, right? When
Yeah,
we made the Panama Canal, we didn't sink the entirety of Central America along with it.
yeah, we basically dug out like a little trench. That
And
that
then use some explosives to really knock it into place, the last little bits, right? Yeah,
yep.
to
That
make
that
an entry point that was deep enough to sustain a canal for a very, very long time.
but like what happened to the neck? Like what did it lower the
It,
land
it
elevation?
had to either push the land below sea level, or it had to create more water, and then like in a magic like, and again, it's like if you dropped a ton of water on an area, like with a massive rainstorm, it would eventually dissipate. You might get some like ponds that stick around for a very long time, or some like groundwater that like builds up, or something like that. But the water cycle would do its thing. If this is like beyond that
Yeah, eventually it's gonna like over a couple hundred years, it's gonna flood out.
and into the ocean, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the arm is fucking gone, and the rivers and the riverlands in the neck are still there. So not only did it, if it created water, it also changed the land. It was something so cataclysmic it did both.
What does that?
Curious.
Like, and that's why I landed on the wall, right? Like,
If the
like,
wall if the wall melts and collapses in, it would create water. It would create its own sort of mini canal sort of thing there, and then it would also probably flood the surrounding area as it pours out. It
hmm
would probably sink the ground. It would probably change fundamentally the way the rest of the north looks.
but it would then need, like, no matter what happened, if it added more water to the system. Oh, this is interesting. If it added more water to the system, that increase in water level should be visible the world over.
Yeah, 100%.
Huh. I have one final note. That note is on Moat Cailin. Moat Cailin is an ancient stronghold of the First Men. It's so old that no one is sure who built it. Um, it's scary and old, and it protects thoroughfares through the neck. Um, who the fuck builds a castle there? Is my Tom question.
Yeah,
The answer, answers Tom, is nobody. That which means it predates the flooding of the neck, which means
th-
more cities and towns and castles predate the flooding of the neck, which means there's more in there under the bogs and in the ocean under the Arm of Dorn. And I think that's extremely fucking cool.
yeah,
They're because the Moat Cailin is a half sunken castle, which heavily implies the existence of regular sunken castles. And I think that's pretty baller.
I think so too.
Would you like one more
Uh,
sidebar for the
uh,
road?
This is so dense. There's so much for like as straightforward as this theory is. There's a lot to think about
Oh,
just from the implications. Sure, hit me
do,
with one more.
don't you worry. This one's unrelated. This is actually about your most recent theory.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Which one was the? Remind me the basic premise. The ghost grass.
The Ghostcraft one
Yeah.
that was submitted by the who submitted that? I can't
Oh damn
remember.
it. Oh no. Oh no. We're bad hosts. I'm sorry.
We
I
are.
thought it
We're
was
very
yours.
bad.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not mine. It was submitted. The ghostgrass one was that it's an invasive species and that the seaweed is related,
Yeah, I'm on a
and that
seaweed
it's
diet.
associated. It was associated with the long night.
Yeah. Um, I came across this while researching this. Uh, some of Moat Caelin's towers are covered in a pale, wreath-like garland of slimy moss called ghost skin.
Ooh,
Yeah, yeah. So add that to your theory and I don't know, smoking.
smoke it. Yeah,
Yeah. Zach, thank you very much for joining me on this madness. I know it's a little late. We all got to get to bed, but I really do appreciate it. I had a great time.
yeah. No, same.
Thank you very much. Zach, do you have anything to add about this or anything else?
Uh, Honestly, that's I'm still chewing on this. If I'm gonna be completely honest, this
Right.
is a lot.
Oh, yeah. There's some really
This
cool
is one of those
questions.
like anything about the shaping of the world is like consequential to the rest of A Song of Ice and Fire lore, and this one has a lot of plausibility in it. So I'm like mentally trying to think of all the implications. I still don't know if I buy it, but this is a fun one to think about.
I agree. Tell us your thoughts in the comments, and in the meantime, Zach, say goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.